All right, guys, happy Friday. Happy Friday. In today's live stream, we're going to talk about a lack of urgency and how I believe a lack of urgency is hurting you financially. And I think on average, most people don't have a sense of urgency. They're lacking it. And it could be because of people they've grown up with, or, their environment, or, I don't know, just their mentality or what they're seeing each and every day causes them to have a lack of urgency. All right, so I'm going to go over three things that I see that happens to people that have a lack of urgency. All right, so number one, the first thing that happens when you have a lack of urgency is that you tend to miss trends. Now, whether it's the real estate market, whether it's the stock market, whether it's the crypto market, there's trends that come along that allow you to make money. And if you miss them, it's going to be a long time before a trend like that comes again. So for real estate, it was in 2007, 2008, where we had that big crash, the crisis, and real estate prices were pretty cheap. And if you were aware of the trend, and I wouldn't say it was a trend, but if you were aware of what was going on, you could have capitalized on that opportunity, right? And picked up some property for cheap. And then 4 or 5 years later, sell that property and make some profit. Two, stocks, right? So every 2 to 3 years, we typically have some type of I wouldn't say catastrophic event, but things like war, pandemics, and stuff like that. So if you know, okay, when these type of things happen, the stock market typically tanks, and then after that, 2 to 3 years after that, it rebounds pretty nicely, and it's a chance to make some profit. Then for crypto, right now we're in a crypto cycle, we're in a crypto bull run. Every 4 years we have the Bitcoin halving, and prices tend to go up, right? So if you're knowledgeable, if you've been through a couple bull cycles, or you pay attention to a couple or a few bull cycles, after a halving, prices typically go up. So if you don't have a sense of urgency to get yourself familiarized with these trends, you're going to miss the opportunity. You're not going to be able to invest, and ultimately this is going to hurt you financially. So yeah, and then also trends are always changing, right? So again, if you don't have a sense of urgency, a trend might last for a month or two, right? It may come every 12 months, but when it comes, it only lasts for a month. And if you're not familiar with previous cycles, then you are going to miss that opportunity, because again, you're not aware. You didn't have a sense of urgency to do the research and figure out what was going on in that sector, so you could be prepared for the next time, right? So definitely having a lack of sense of urgency will cause you to miss trends, and ultimately cause you to lose a lot of money, right? Because you're missing out on opportunities that you could have been aware of if you just had some sense of urgency and said, okay, I'm going to buckle down. I'm going to research this sector and make sure that next time something like this happens again, I'm going to be prepared to take advantage of it. So that's number one. Number two, the second thing that happens when you have a lack of urgency is that you get older, right? People are getting older each and every day. It's not going to stop, right? The time clock doesn't stop. And as you get older, you want to live your life. You want to have kids. You want to, settle down and things like that. And the older you get, it's going to be harder to have a lack of urgency, since you're carrying on all these additional responsibilities. So you want to make sure that, as you're young, or you're in your younger years, or starting today, that you have you have a sense of urgency, because the older you get, it's just you're going to the older you get, and if you have a lack of urgency already, it's just going to be harder to gain that urgency as you get older. So you need to start now, build that foundation, so that way when you get into your older years, you already have that discipline. You already know how to have a sense of urgency. And it's like with anything else, right? The older you get, the harder things are going to be. Like going to the gym or working out. If you haven't worked out from age, 15 to 30, and then you're all of a sudden thinking like I'm going to start working out when I'm 35 or 40, it's going to be a lot harder for you to get in shape opposed to if you just had a sense of urgency and you built a schedule in your earlier years to say, okay, I'm going to at least go to the gym 3 times a week. Maybe I'm not a gym rat. Maybe I'm not a person that likes to be in the gym all the time, but I'm at least going to carve out a piece of my week so I can, not have to struggle later in try to get in shape in a week or try to reverse some type of health condition that I developed because I didn't have a sense of urgency in my younger years to work out, 3 times, at least 3 times a week, right? I believe people should work out more than that, and it doesn't have to be intense working out, but it should be something where it's consistent. I would say try to do something each and every day. Try to get some movement each and every day. But that was just an example. As you get older, things just become harder, and it's going to be harder for you to obtain that sense of urgency in your later years. So it's better to develop that habit now. When you're younger, you have more energy and things like that. So, yeah, that's number two. You're getting older. All right, number three. The third thing that happens to you when you don't have a sense of urgency is your ability to spot. Hold on, let me see. I can't even read my handwriting. The ability to spot money making activities or money making skill sets, right? So, like this kind of connects with the first one with the trends. Like if you have a sense of urgency, you're always going to be going out and trying to figure out different ways to make money, right? We're talking about finances here. So, having a sense of urgency, if you hear about AI, if you're a person that has a sense of urgency and you hear about AI, you may not be an expert in AI, but you go out and maybe you pay for a course, maybe you read some articles, you watch some YouTube videos, and you get yourself familiarized with the AI space. So enough to where you can probably make some type of investment or some type of move. And the more you do that, and I'm not saying let's say you do this for 10 to 20 things. I'm saying you go all in, but the more you do that, the more you're able to figure out the money making skill set that works for you. So it all comes with volume. The more stuff that you try out, the more you can say, okay, this didn't work, that doesn't work for me, this doesn't work, but this works for me, or a combination of that and this works for me. So you're able to spot the money making activities faster and figure out what works for you when you have a sense of urgency. Because when you have a sense of urgency, you are trying to figure out where the money's at, right? And right now, like I said, AI is taking off. Crypto is taking off, and then we have different sectors and stuff like that, and then also businesses as well. Whether it's drop shipping, it's affiliate marketing, and things like that. You're just able to spot more opportunities because of the volume, right? You have a sense of urgency, and you're able to spot those opportunities. So yeah, those are the three things that happen when you have a lack of urgency. Again, number one, you tend to miss trends, right? So you're not aware, you're not doing the research, you're lackadaisy, you're not doing anything, so you're not aware of what's going on around you in the financial space. So, and again, like I said, these trends change quickly. So if you don't have money ready to go, or if you don't know what's going on, you're going to miss the trend. And again, these trends tend to not come back for 3 to 4 years, right? They don't happen so often. We might go from like an AI trend to a crypto trend, and then it may stop for 2 to 3 years, and then some other trend might come up, and then you might get that AI or crypto stuff to come back again. But being early in a trend is what typically gets you the most money, makes you the most profit. So yeah, that's number one. Number two, you end up just getting older, right? So We're all getting older each and every day. You can't stop the time clock. And a lot of people say, oh, and because you hear this all the time. I said this in one of my other videos. People are always saying to younger folks, "Oh, you have time. You're young. This and that." But there's a lot of people that are in their early 20s, teens, killing it, making so much money, making six figures. And not saying that you need to do that, but it just shows you the possibility, right? It's just like, okay, you're telling whatever an 18 or 19-year-old that they have time when people in that same age bracket are doing incredible things. So you don't want to feed into that I have time or you have time mentality, because you're just going to push things back, and then before you know it, you're 30 and you're still saying I have time, or you didn't get anything done because you thought you had time. So yeah, you're getting older, and it's going to be harder for you to have a lack or have a sense of urgency, because again, life just plays out. You're going to want to settle down. You're going to want to have kids and all this stuff. So, just know that's a factor. And number three, your ability to spot money making opportunities, diminishes because you don't have a sense of urgency. Like if you don't have a sense of urgency, you're not going to be able to try a lot of things out and say, okay, I tried this out. I saw this popping off. Let me see what this is about. And it's not saying you go to each and everything and you don't put quality time in each thing. It's just saying, okay, let me see what this is about. It's something I'm interested in. And if you have a sense of urgency, you're able to do that many times and quickly find out what works for you, and then hone in on that one thing and make some money in that area, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to talk about a lack of urgency. I think this is very important. You want to make sure you're waking up early. You want to make sure you are putting work in on the weekend if you have your a 9 to 5, and make sure that your sense of urgency is high up there, and because you only have one life, right? You're not going to be able to do it again, and if you don't give it all you got, you don't know when you're going to go. So it's like, give it all you got, have a sense of urgency, and have those goals written out. So that way you say, okay, this is my goal. How far am I out to completing this goal? And that's why it's good to have those numbers, those figures written out. So that way you're reminded each and every day, okay, this is the goal. I'm this far away. I need to have a sense of urgency. And I think if you live like that, you'll do way better financially. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.